Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly bump. Thank you all so much for being here. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be doing another pick a card this week. We have pile 1, 2, and 3. This is using a crystal card instead of an actual crystal. We have a Kyanite, a Bronzite, and a Bixbite. So if you want to take a moment, pause the video, feel compelled. If you do, if not, you can also randomly pick one. I do think there is an element of destiny with these pick of cards a little bit. So I'll see you in just a minute. The timestamps will be in the description box down below so you can quickly access. Also, for those of you who are on the phone, I will go ahead and pin a comment that also has the timestamps for easy accessibility. All right, see you guys in just a sec. Okay, pile number 1, you guys selected the Kyanite. Now, what's actually interesting is the Kyanite with the Iwaz, sorry, I'm not sure how to properly pronounce it, but the Iwaz rune is, to me, this is saying that if there is something that's a little bit sour in your life, something that still needs resolution or a conversation, or if you need to get something out in the open, that your life might not progress quickly. I'm not saying it won't. I mean, obviously it will, but it won't progress quickly. And things are going to keep slowing you down, whether it's delays in like the contract or delays with meeting up with someone or whatever it is. And I think this is a really harmony balancing energy. And it's blue, right? There's a connection with communication here as well. We have Mercury going direct this week, right? So it's kind of slowing down. It's going to be station. And then I think it's the 12th, if I remember correctly, it will be moving direct. So it's time to say the things and restore harmony and to work together to resolve something. It doesn't necessarily have to be with another person. It can also just be internally as well. But this is, kind of a card of, not a card, sorry, it's like a rune. It's kind of interesting because if you're feeling desperate for an outcome, this rune is saying it's not going to happen, right? If you're in a state of desperation or neediness or feeling, lustful towards something, then it's just not going to work. Patience is the advice here with this particular rune, okay? And it also signifies kind of the beginning of a new life, though. A new life on the other side of whatever kind of little obstacle that you're dealing with, or big obstacle. Sorry, don't mean to lower anything, but whatever obstacle you are dealing with. Okay, so we have 10 of air, Queen of water. Let's see here. Okay, messenger of earth. Wow. Okay, so we have a lot of court cards, a queen, a messenger, a king, and a page. Starting off with the 10 of air, which is a suggestion that, it's done, right? What's done is done. And there's not a lot of thought that needs to continue going into something, because additional thought, additional energy is actually going to hinder progress more than anything. It's going to slow things down, and you're just going to be in a state of stress and anxiety for no good reason. Queen of water, I love the way that she's looking towards kind of the king of air. Now, this might be someone towards you or you towards someone. You may relate more or less to one person or the other. Again, doesn't have to be a person either. It could be a situation that you've been avoiding, something that you've been putting on the back burner. Like, now really is the time to come together with that particular thing or person. And the messenger, it's kind of interesting, right? A messenger, this could be your phone, this could be your email, this could be actually calling, or, I don't suggest just randomly showing up at people's house nowadays, but, whatever the relationship is, just approaching. And to me, the Queen of Water is a very loving and caring energy. Of course, she's a feminine energy, receptive to what other people have to say. King of Air can have a little bit of an edge to him, right? And so there might be a little bit of stress approaching something. It's a little bit prickly to an extent. And yet I think it's something that must be done. There are words that must be said. King of Air is an energy of, it's a fixed energy, right? The Kings is kind of an energy of Aquarius, so it's kind of fixed air, which can feel very detached or very evasive sometimes, and it can feel out of reach. But yet the Queen of Water seems to be reaching and at least doing her part in the situation. I suspect that whoever the Queen of Water is, because some of you might relate more to this, but if you can tap more into the Queen of Water and send the message, there will be at least some receptivity, okay, with the Page of Water. It might not be perfect. That's why this rune is saying, you can't be hectic, right? It's not about being needy. It's about patience, because I think this is going to ultimately evolve into deeper conversations. We want to really harvest good consequences in our lives, right? That's really what we want. We want to bring good things into our lives. We want to bring things that can grow rather than things that will fall apart. So to me, the Page of Water is like a seed. So for some of you, if this is not a person, that's fine, right? If this is a project that you have at work, or if it's a thing you have to do, this is just getting it started. But for whatever reason, I think that the getting started is the hardest part. And I think that's maybe a little bit of a cliche, but maybe also something that you need to hear. Getting started is the hardest part. But once you make that connection, I follow a whole bunch of fitness people on Instagram. And one of my favorites, her name's Christina Dreaming, if you want to follow her. She was posting one because she's a personal trainer, and she was like, people always ask me, like, what's the best way, or how often should you go to the gym, when you're first getting started after a long period of time of not going to the gym. And she said, you should go every single day. And people, were like, why should you go every single day? And she's like, well, you should go every single day because you need to put your energy on the equipment, right? She's also kind of spiritual. You got to put your energy on the equipment. You got to go. You got to connect with the machines. You have to connect with the atmosphere, with the water fountain. You have to connect with the locker. You have to, you have to touch everything, because then it becomes more a part of you and it becomes more of your everyday experience. It's like, you don't even have to work out. Just go to the gym is a first start every single day. And so that's what I feel that this Page of Water is just going and putting your energy onto something, touching the machines, if you will. Okay, touching the dumbbells or getting on the bench or whatever it is you do. Of course, that could be with a person, right? Just allow that consciousness to grow. And of course, the messenger of earth is a very practical kind of message. It probably has some kind of a substance to it. It's not just like, how are you? Like if there's a reason for you to reach out, if there's a reason for you to communicate, or the way to approach a project is practically with step 1. That's it. Very simple. Because whatever it is that's been blocking you from it, it's not going to play out very well moving forward. Okay, base chakra, which is when this is out of balance, it can really root or stem from fear. And maybe it is fear of whatever someone might say, or fear of the amount of work, fear that ultimately it's not going to work out, fear that it's going to be a waste of time. I simply don't think that's the case. Remember, this crystal is about harmony. It's about reestablishing unity. And especially because of its blue color, is about communication. So, and then we have suffering in silence, which some of you might be suffering in silence, because this could be, the product of procrastination. It could be the product of the fear as well. Completely unnecessary. That's also 10 of Swords kind of energy. Like, why? Why the burden? I don't think it's necessary at this time. Especially when all you have to maybe do is communicate a little bit and actually say the words. And because this is a water energy, it could be regarding your emotions, right? Talking about how you feel. Now, remember, no desperation, right? It's not about I even just posted this on my Instagram today, like a little clip from one of the Sex and the City episodes. She's like, I revealed too much too soon. I was emotionally slutty. I'm not referring to emotional sluttiness, right? Just kind of unloading on somebody. Messenger of Earth is a really solid filter between you and this thing. Getting it started, small, incremental steps. Practical, honest, truthful. If some of you are hoping to resolve an issue within a partnership, I think it's time to approach, okay? And then we have look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius, and we have nothing is yet set in stone, which is, of course, a beautiful message because that means the outcome of this could be anything. That your free will is being used here in this particular instance. Sometimes we can be so blinded by an issue. We can be so blinded by something that is just simply right in front of us without realizing that the stagnation or the blindness that we have is simply to help us in the long run. So when you keep that big perspective all the time, or when you're asking yourself, I don't know how to think about this, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to approach this, and you're kind of running through all these things in your mind, when you're doing that, take a step back and say, it's okay that I don't know because it's a part of a bigger picture. And I like the Sagittarius energy as well because it is a good luck energy, right? Jupiterian, good luck, good fortune, prosperity, meaning you have nothing to be afraid of. You have nothing to lose. I would say that the people who picked pile 1 that end up not saying anything are the ones who choose to stay in their suffering and silence and their 10 of Swords kind of energy here. Kind of lost in their illusions of things. Messenger of Earth is real grounded, real practical, real honest, based in evidence, based in fact, And that's great. I think that's a wonderful place. And I like the mutability as well. Mutable moon and Sagittarius, which is the mutable fire sign, because mutable is so flexible. Mutable is so unpredictable, unruly. It's fun, and it can go a myriad of different ways. So it's really up to you which way you want this to go. Attraction. Okay, is there a love that some of you have? An interest, a passion. Some of you are probably also standing up for the things that you value a great deal. Saying, well, I really need X, Y, or Z in order for me to feel fulfilled or in order for me to feel happy. But by this act, I think it's a very simple act. Just a text message. I don't know, just something so simple. You become the attractor. You no longer are in a void. You switch those gears. You become the attractor. You switch roles. And you become the creator. And it has nothing to do with this person's response. It has nothing to do with how far you get on your project. It has everything to do with how you are alchemizing your energy. Palo Santo from the Ritual deck. Devotion, creation, and holiness. For some reason, with all the things happening, this is not a very heavy reading, thank goodness. I think we needed a break from the heaviness, right? But I feel like our desires and the things that we want for ourselves and the kind of life that we're seeking have really come to light over the past several months. The things that are truly important to us. And that was kind of the essence of the July readings. It was just admit what's important to you. Admit what you like. Admit who you are. Have that level of self-awareness to admit where you're at. And I think this beautiful Palo Santo is kind of a devotion, right? This word devotion is here. Devotion, creation, and holiness. And it's even associated with the symbol of Virgo as well. But the devotion is the devotion to your soul, to God. And that can come through in our work. It can come through in our words. And it can come through when we reestablish harmony with something. When we work on a relationship, we are working on a relationship with our creative energy and our creator. Ooh, radiance. That's lovely. Summer solstice. I love that with the base chakra as well. To me, this is definitely a third chakra kind of energy, actually. And a lot of the base energies, right, the first, second, and third, really drive us forward in this world. They really pull us and push us. And to me, this is confidence. This is self-acceptance. No shame, no regrets, no nothing. And just really owning it, owning what you want to say, owning your responsibility in the project, owning how much you care about something, owning it. And illumination, oh, beautiful. And then with the sun energy, especially here, I think that's, a lot of things are going to come to light in the next upcoming weeks. A lot of things are going to surface, your light bulbs are going to start turning on, and you're going to start to understand the power of consequences and foresight of consequences. And it's not the consequences of other people's reactions, right? It's the consequences of your choices. This is about decision making, I think, more than anything. And then the very last card is Mouse Spirit. Tend to the small things. Yeah, what did I say in the beginning? I think I said the words, get your house in order. Take care of this stuff. Get the balance, get the harmony, get everything evened out. If there's procrastination, get on board with that. Mars and Aries, even though he is coming conjunct Chiron, and Chiron is going to be working into a retrograde this week, we're kind of past that pretty quick. So we can still focus on the mundane, right? Just because something is mundane doesn't mean it has to be boring, right? Mundane means of the world, of the earth, things we got to do, but it doesn't have to be boring. And for some reason, I feel like you're going to really enjoy the mundane things in life, cleaning the house and all of that. And it's meant to be enjoyed, your experience as you await, right? Remember, patience as you await the open door for the next thing. Okay? Kind of a short, simple reading for you guys, but I think we needed it given the heaviness of the readings the past couple of weeks. So this is kind of getting back to quote unquote normal, whatever normal means to you, and moving on from there. All right? Beautiful reading, guys. I love you so much. I wish you nothing but the best. Have an amazing rest of the week, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Okay, pile number 2. You guys selected the Bronzite, and this is the rune Kano. Sorry if I mispronounced. Reversed. So let's start with the Bronzite, which has a lot to do with trust. A lot to do with trust. Trusting, again, trusting the universal consciousness or your higher self. Trusting the process, but also guarding your trust and not just trusting just anybody. Getting yourself to a place where people have to truly earn your trust, earn your respect, but also becoming a respectful or respectable and trustworthy person as well. Trust is an interesting thing, and I think too many of us have had experiences where we gave out our trust much too easily. And we've had people betray us, we've had people wrong us, and we just say, oh, don't worry about it, it's okay, and we just move on, and we just trust again. Without really forcing anybody to really earn it. I think people that kind of force people to earn it are a lot better off sometimes. It's not because we think we're better than anybody else. It's not because we are so skeptical of every human being and we can't see the good in people. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with protecting our space, protecting our life, our money, our hearts, protecting it from people that are of a lower vibration. And this was kind of an interesting crystal to get with this Kano reversed, because this is an indication that like something has to change, that something might be fizzling out and a part of you no longer is appropriate. It's not appropriate to who you are becoming. And it's just not valid, right? So you got to kind of like put yourself on like a notice, right? Put yourself on with a warning, or, you know, that if you don't face up to this, if you don't admit the way you're changing, you don't admit the way you're evolving, then this could actually result in a loss of amazing opportunities for you. Opportunities for love, opportunities for partnerships in all regards. Let's see what comes out here. Okay, we've got the Empress. Got the 8 of Earth. Wonderful. We've got the 5 of Fire. 6 of Fire. And 4 of Water. Okay, so now this Empress, those of you who have been with me for the past couple weeks, know that this Empress energy kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit, because she looks really melancholy in this artwork. But she still represents self-reliance, abundance. She still represents self-worth, self-respect. She knows what she's capable of. She is still a major arcana after all. She is powerful. And she doesn't have to justify herself. She doesn't have to justify her decisions. She doesn't have to justify her existence. No apologies. And I know you've been working really hard. I love the creative element, actually, because she's a highly creative force with the music, the musician, the violin here. For those of you who are musicians, your music is going to be a wonderful avenue for you at this point in time. An avenue to connect, an avenue to meditate, an avenue to just kind of fall in love with the present moment. I know you've been working hard on your sense of self-worth. You've been working hard on, knowing what you deserve, knowing what's good for you. I mean, we have a beautiful world and there's so much good out there, but there's a lot of darkness too. And I think a lot of the darkness has really permeated and become a part of our thought processes. And it's a matter of doing that work to break ourselves free from those thought processes. And I think that's exactly what's happening. And because you are kind of unshackling yourself, this 5 of Fire could cause some disturbance with other people. Because, of course, we know that not everyone likes when people they love change. Not everyone likes it when people they love evolve into something that maybe they feel they can't keep up with. But don't ever let your own evolution and people's reaction to your evolution really stop you. There will be people watching this who will feel stuck between who they want to become and who they are becoming. And they will choose who they were. And because they'll do that, they will find, distaste for their decisions, for their consequences. And that distaste can turn into bitterness. And bitterness can turn into anger and result in other things. So no one wants to go down that path. Everyone watching this, I think, hopefully everyone watching this, will emerge through this victoriously. Because with the 4 of Water, I often see an energy of someone giving us something, and yet you're so focused on what you want, you're so focused on where you're going, that you simply cannot be distracted. You simply cannot be bothered because you're so clear of what you're trying to do. And even if you're faced with material decisions, right? Because this is definitely a spiritual and a material journey. Because as you evolve spiritually, your materialistic world will evolve with you. And when it comes to trust, it's almost as though opportunities and people that come your way, they're going to have to prove that they're worth the attention of an empress. They're going to have to prove that they're worth the attention of someone so powerful. Because I'll tell you what, very few things are going to win the attention and energy of an empress. Very, very few. And I'm sure that you have been working on the simplification of your life, right? Working on simplifying just kind of everything, your relationships, your working life, your financial life. Maybe that was kind of forced with the lockdown, Maybe it was forced. But it was an essential part of a much bigger picture that will soon make sense. Let's see what else comes through. Solitude. Yeah, I do think many of you are continuing in a more solitary state. Even though now we can be more social, depending on where we're at, we can be more social. We can be more connected. But see, I think what happened, or what is happening, now with this Memories of Love card, I never see it as romantic love. I always see it as the universal love from whence we came. Humans, we have all these little boxes of love, right? We have the love that we have with a romantic partner or a sexual partner, or a husband or a wife. We have the kind of love that we have for our children, the love we have for our pets. We have all these different kinds of love. But the love from whence we came is all encompassing. And this is, I think, where you're really connecting with. And this is the love that is really only allowed to speak when we reduce the amount of noise in our life. And I think that's what this Five of Wands is coming out, or Five of Fire is, there will be noise around you. There will absolutely be noise, whether it's from your friends, whether it's from your job, whether it's from the news or some other source. So it's your power to tune it out so you don't get distracted. Because I think many of you are connecting with your mission, so to speak, here. Now, I'm not here saying that everyone has like a thing they have to do when they're here, because that kind of implies that maybe you might miss out. I don't think so. I think that our destiny, our purpose will always come out, no matter what we're doing, no matter what job we work at, no matter what. It will always come out. So there's no fear of you not connecting with it. It's just when you're more aware of it, it's easier. And so maybe this is a process of becoming more aware of what your purpose is and how you are already living into it, how you are already living in your destiny. Okay? It's time to release negativity. Remember what I said in the beginning with the rune. There's a need for you to really put yourself on watch, right? Put yourself on notice that you got to let some stuff be in the past. You got to let that part of your life die out. You have to walk away. Six of Fire, there's movement here. You're clearly floating forward. And it's not about acquiring something new to replace it. I think the emptiness is good. The emptiness in your life where this thing took shape or where this thing was taking up space. I'm sensing freedom for a lot of you, a true feeling of freedom. And you're very close to achieving it. But you have to check those negative narratives that are going through your mind and the negative people that continually bombard you with what they think you should be in order to make them happy. The thing is the compassion that we need to have for people who are acting this way because it's very likely that they don't realize that they're acting that way. And that is due to a lot of programming that the world has, the culture has projected onto them since childhood. Very few of us are truly victims of ourselves. We're really victims of how we were shaped and molded. But it comes to a point in life where we have to wake up and be like, okay, I have control over this. And I think you're past that. You're evolving past it. You're evolving into that self-aware, fully autonomous state, and other people are not. Goddess of light. Beautiful. And also we have the heart chakra from the ritual deck, which is compassion, forgiveness, and gentleness. And I love the Gemini Libra zodiac sign associations here, because I do feel, I will also even throw Aquarius in there as well, because air is associated with the heart. And you are a walking beam of light, whether you see it or not, whether you would like to acknowledge it or not. Just simply the path that your life has taken, you are blessed with light. And you are becoming brighter as we speak. And your love is very important in this world. I feel like Pile 2, you are making your way to becoming one of the most positive influences on the people in your life. And maybe you had to go through a lot of negative experiences in order to achieve this positivity. In order to achieve this kind of great, because whenever we are truly free, we are, I feel like freedom and ecstasy go hand in hand. Is that just me? Freedom and happiness, freedom and joy. But it's the freedom of mind. As you free your mind, your heart begins to glow and people become drawn to you. That's why the trust is important. Be careful with whom, how quickly people just trust you as well, because that could be a substantial projection. It's not good for you either. The word autonomous keeps coming to my mind, like you guys are becoming entirely sovereign beings, which we know we are, but it's hard to live into that in this world because we're not taught that. Ancient healing wisdom, and we have purity. Releasing negativity, purity, the heart, memories of love. This is what you've been working for. And I think your experiences that you've had recently have been exceptionally cleansing. And what you've acquired is ancient healing wisdom. Some of you who are energy healers, who are light workers, however you identify in this world, the ancient healing wisdom is just going to be pumping through you. And everyone you talk to, everyone you meet, everyone you shake hands with is going to feel it. Remember that we all leave a legacy on this planet, whether it's remembered or not. With every word we speak and every action we take, we are changing people. And I think from this point forward, this was the whole point of all the Capricorn stuff. This was the whole point of this Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn stuff, just pummeling it. It's just like hammering it into our minds and in our hearts that you have to change. You have to. And those of you who are taking that, mission seriously, you have the ancient wisdom all around you. The wisdom from the golden age. And that's a beautiful thing. Hummingbird spirit, be here now. I love the hummingbirds. There's something so poetic about them for some reason. They kind of live in a class all their own. They're exceptionally unique. There are no other birds like them. They are it's like the wings flapping, flapping, flapping is like the noise, and yet the body stands still. Extremely present. I'm feeling a little bit of a monk quality coming through for some of you. So if you need to continue to be in your solitude, right, you need to continue to be in your whole zone, then I say just keep it going. I see there's no harm in that. And I think the world will benefit from it. I posted this for myself a few weeks ago, on my Instagram. I said, somehow I feel like I can be a better contributor into humanity by being removed from it. Right? Being on the outskirts, looking in and, interjecting in specific ways. And I feel like that's what this solitude is really all about. Being on the outskirts, looking in, but contributing in a positive way that affects people. But you got to let it go. Forgive. Accept what is. And affect change in the way that you feel it needs to continue. Okay? Beautiful reading, you guys. Truly amazing. I love you so much. I wish you guys an amazing week, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile number 3. You guys selected the Bixbite. Now, this is actually a very rare stone. It doesn't just show up all the time. But this is definitely a stone of action. Like, if there's ever a time, the time is now. Time is now to pull the trigger. The time is now to say go for it. The time is now to fall in love. The time is now to do. And that's being matched with the Berkana rune here, which is growth and fertility and bringing things into fruition, whether this is, affairs of the world, or family issues, or the relationship with another person, or with the self, or with the divine. But it's truly a rune of blossoming, and it has a lot to do with the flow, right? The flow of beings into their new form. It's kind of like a shapeshifter kind of quality, if you will. But it's gentle, but powerful at the same time. But it takes care and it takes awareness for you here. So you're going to have to get rid of resistance, which is likely coming from inside of you. The good news is you have this crystal of self-esteem and confidence and power. The ability to act, the ability to just straight shot through it. And once you've really gotten rid of that resistance, then you can carry out as needed. Through steadfastness, though, and you got to have a right attitude. And then that's when the blossoming can really occur. So this is going to be a really great week for you. We've got the Hermit, Two of Air, Messenger of Fire. There's the fire. I love the kind of fire with the red stone. Temptation, there's the resistance, all the things I just said, and the Seven of Water. So, what I think is going to be your biggest struggle are any feelings of overwhelm. Be careful not to try to eat the whole elephant all at once, because you can procrastinate, and I'm seeing this like fairy or this angel kind of sitting on the apple, just kind of resting and sleeping. She kind of has like a blindfold on, like the things you don't want to look at. You don't want to look at the details. You don't want to look at how many steps it's actually going to take, because if you do that, then you are going to feel overwhelmed and you're not going to do it. So you're going to procrastinate. Now is not the time of procrastination. There are often, I always say this, there's times of action and there's times of patience. For you guys, this is a time of action. And if you need to be alone in order to do that, if you need to lock yourself into your house, continue to do that. For some reason, that's been a continued theme. And I know that we have a lot more freedom now in a lot of states especially, but Not everybody, but I think it's a good thing to stay, stay inside and to stay in your zone. And I'm not saying don't go outside, but you know what I mean? Like to stay in that space of solitude so the creativity can really flow. I'm being drawn to point out the keys that are up here, kind of hanging from the top of the door, kind of as an indication that through this door, there are, the keys to what you're looking for. Be alone, be in solitude. The energy will flow, the ideas will flow, the courage will flow. And we have the Two of Air here. There does seem to be some confusion, which means you might not necessarily be listening to your heart, or it might be hard for you to be listening to your heart because maybe, again, the temptation is to wait. The temptation is to wait until someone else does something. Wait until it feels safe. Wait until it makes sense. But this week, that's not the case. You don't want to elude yourself of thinking, oh, it's okay, it'll be fine, it will change, it will evolve, it will da-da-da-da-da. It won't. It requires your action. So the messenger of fire is here to remind you to light that fire under your bum a little bit and be like, get going. And there's probably going to be a sign. Maybe it's this reading is the sign, but maybe there's some other sign or omen that comes out that says, hey, pile number 3 people, pay attention. You got to get going on this. Evolve, jump, leap, take the risk. You will be caught, right? The universe will catch you. That's where the wisdom of the hermit comes to play. Because the hermit knows all the secrets of the universe. The hermit knows the essence of the universal fabric. And then even if a bad choice is made or a bad decision is made, that it can and will always be rectified. So there really is no risk. That there is perfection in the mistakes. There is perfection in the wrong. There's perfection in the failures. And therefore, there should be nothing holding you back. You might have some deep-seated thought processes going on here. Really deep-rooted, really powerful thought streams. Those are your greatest enemies. The thought streams that create doubt. The thought streams that instill hesitation. Those are the things that every person needs to contend with within themselves. Deception and envy and awareness. But see, I feel like the deception is coming out, especially with the 7 of water here. The deception is coming out, but us toward ourselves. Not necessarily anyone else doing it to us, although that could be the case for some of you. In which case, you probably already know. But don't deceive yourself in thinking you don't know. Sometimes I think one of human beings' greatest enemy is our power of rational thought. Right? The rational thought that always makes things safe, always makes things comfortable, always has an answer for everything. Right? And I think that the rational thought right now means you're not listening to your gut. In ancient traditions, it was believed that the gut was actually the most powerful brain, the most powerful intelligence center. It was instinctual, which meant it was always right. And I think that's your own mind doing this. So if there's something that you need to confront, now's the time to do it. If there's something you need to get rid of in your thought patterning, Now is the time to do it. You have the awareness to do it. That's the thing with this reading. Like, you guys already know. And you know you know. So then what is it really? Nothing. Right? Your commitment is being tested. Luck is on your side. That's the power of the Hermit energy. And I love the Hermit with the Sagittarius new moon, because Sagittarius to me is kind of a very almost a Chiron-like energy, which is the healer. Hermit is very much a healer as well, a keeper of sacred wisdom. And maybe it's your commitment, right? Not your commitment to a person, but your commitment to your soul. We don't talk enough about our commitment to our soul, right? These covenants that we make to learn certain things, these covenants that we make to experience certain things. This is a very difficult experience, right? This human experience. Like, have you guys ever sat back and thought about like why my soul chose to come here? I'm sure you have. Like, why did my soul choose this? Like, what's the point of all of this? It is kind of like a not so great place in some ways, right? But it can be a beautiful place in a lot of other ways too. The amount of learning that goes on here, this is like an intensive, immersive language course, really. It's like just dive right in, both feet, and you're on your own. But the covenant that you made before you came here is being fulfilled. Tested, but fulfilled. Which is why this knowing is so important. Knowing of what you have to do. And I think this week requires action. Chiron, which is transition. Okay, beautiful. Exactly. You are in a state of transition. Transitioning from a period of rest to a period of action at bare minimum. Oh, we got another rune, a rune card. Fehu, wealth, provision, and blessing. With luck on your side, tells me that whatever you need, the universe will provide. Again, the awareness that the universe, that you are made up of all the stuff of the universe, and therefore the resources of the universe are at your disposal. Wealth, provision, blessing. You'll be provided with the money that you need. You'll be provided with the backup, with the love, with the support, and you will be blessed. Vulnerability, okay? Maybe you feel vulnerable because you're letting your mind loose. Why is it that listening to our heart is like the scariest thing? Why is that the scary thing? When it never really leads us astray. And we have to clarify, right? Because it's not the heart per se. It's not the, right? We often can confuse our heart with our ego. It's not our ego. Because we think that we like want these things and that's what my heart wants. Probably if it's a materialistic kind of thing, probably not really what your heart wants, which is probably maybe one of the reasons why you don't manifest it, because you know in your gut that that's not really what you want, which is why when you're trying to do the whole manifestation law of attraction thing, you have to be really freaking clear about what's really important to you, because what's really important to you is what's actually going to manifest. We're so busy looking around at our external circumstances and being like, oh my God, I don't have my boat yet. I don't have my house yet. I don't have my husband yet. You know, we have all these things. But maybe what you really want is just simply a period of evolution. Maybe what you really want is peace. You know? So it's the awareness of what's real and what is purely of the mind and what is, that which we inherited from culture, from society. And it can be a very vulnerable experience because my experience from talking to many, many, many people is that when we really ask for what we really want, it usually means letting go of stuff. And then we have the gateway, which is kind of like a magical portal, right? We have this kind of unicorn energy here. I'm even kind of drawn to, which I like the unicorn, right? Because it has the horn that comes out of that third eye of the horse. And then we have the illumination of the third eye and crown chakra here in the awareness card, which says that this is divinely inspired. You can't fight it, which is why you should just act on it. It's why you should just do it. Especially with the Berkana Major Arcana, which is a symbol of fostering growth, symbolically and actually. And last but not least, the rabbit spirit. Now is a lucky time. Can we just for a second acknowledge, right? Luck is on your side, wealth, provision, blessing, and now is a lucky time. You guys are cared for. Don't worry. You can take the leap. You can take the leap. The universe will catch you. The temptation, right? The thing that with this particular rune, right? It's like we need to get rid of the dark corners. We need to get rid of the resistance. Because once we get rid of the resistance, the evolution, it will be gentle. It will be soft. Also pervasive. So it's time to have that conversation with yourself and to move forward on it. Okay? Really beautiful reading, you guys. I love you so, so much. I truly hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.